Have you been paying attention to what's going on in politics? On the one hand, we have Trump, that everything that comes out of his mouth, the media will take and manipulate in one direction, whereas anything out of Biden's mouth is slurred or it is not comprehensible in terms of what he says. And nobody says anything about that. And then you take a look at these polls over here that we see on the left, and every single one of these has Biden leading. And you may wonder what is actually going on, because you can see that everything that comes out of Trump's mouth is twisted and manipulated. Everything that comes out of Biden's mouth is, well, slurred, or it's not actually a sentence, or it's just, babble. But nobody talks about that. So what is actually going on? Well, that is why we created these rankings. This is the website ranking. So what we do is we rank Donald Trump's website versus Joe Biden's website on multiple different metrics to see who is actually winning. Now, think about this for a second. If you were to go to somebody's website, why would you go there? One of two reasons. First of all, to get some type of information, right? Or to give money in terms of like a donation or purchase, right? That's why we go to websites, to get information, whether that's even social or entertainment, right? That is information. Or it is to seek out some type of other type of news or related to whatever we're looking for, or purchase something. So if your website has 30 million people coming to it every month, and I have 2 million, who do you think is actually more popular in the American public eye? Especially when you have polls like these here, where you have 964 from Emerson, 2,850 is the most from The Hill. So you have these polls that are less than 3,000 people that the media reports as being representative of what 330 million people think. I'm not making this up. This is actually how it's done. We're going to talk about all that in today's video. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. So, what I did is I actually pulled up this poll here from Emerson. This is from Real Clear Politics. We're going to go through a little bit of data here, and then we are going to get into the actual rankings to see who is leading. And to start with, it comes up on the Emerson poll website. You scroll to the bottom, and you can see right here that it says data was collected using a interactive voice responder system of landlines. Okay, well, let's stop there for 1 second. What does that mean? Well, effectively, that means you get a spam call from one of those systems that your bank has or the cable company has, where you can never actually talk to a human. So you get this spam call, but it doesn't come to your cell phone. It goes to a landline. And over 50% of the data points collected are landlines. So does that mean that, like, all of my friends, all of my siblings' friends, basically every single person that I know is not going to get contacted? Because I don't know anybody who has a landline other than my father. You can let me know down below in the comments. We know this is biased, right? This is where the data comes from that the media reports on. You can go look this up yourself. Then we come down here. It says an online panel provided by MTurk for the other 432. So you're like, well, at least 432 of those data points are real. So at least almost half of them are real. Well, not so fast. What is Amazon MTurk? Well, it is an Amazon company. And if we come in here, we can actually search for politics, and we pull up all these different surveys. On Facebook or other social platforms, if you poke around into like money making online, something is going to come up where you can take surveys online to make money. This is that site, except for this is the legitimate one. It's run by Amazon. So I created an account, and it took around 50 of these, varying amounts of time. And let me tell you, the only thing that I had an incentive to do while I was doing this is click through as quickly as humanly possible to get to the next question so that I could get paid. Because you have political surveys here. This one's $1.25. This is $1.50. This one's $2 more. This one's at 30 cents. This is at 50 cents. So you have these ones here, like say for 30 cents right here. And this is maybe a 10 to 15 minute poll, maybe. And these other ones over here, maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes, sometimes 25 for $2 or 30 cents or $1.25. What do you think, being an intelligent human being, people are going to do if somebody wants to collect data and your sole incentive is to click through as fast as humanly possible so that you can make more money? Do you think that these data points are accurate? Right? We know that already 532 data points are completely ridiculous, but 432 are even more ridiculous. It's just not even real data. Like, and this is what the media reports on. I'm like, no, I'm not making any of this stuff up. You can go look this stuff up yourself. This is actually how it's set up in America right now. That's why I'm making these videos. Also, I wanted to report on another thing that the media never actually likes to talk about. This is the president of Tanzania. He sent in 3 different kits with different names and ages on them of a goat, a sheep, and a pawpaw. I don't know what a pawpaw is, but some type of animal. And then he had his somebody in his organization send these in to get tested in a laboratory, and then obviously the lab didn't know. And they came back positive. And he goes on to say that not all aid from foreign nations is a good thing, right? Because clearly there's an incentive to create higher COVID numbers. Use your head. There's a lot more that's going on than what leads to the eye. I don't know if nobody else is talking about this, and maybe at the end I'll get into it, but there's been 9 different fires / explosions around the world. You can check out my Twitter for more information on that. We heard about Lebanon. Bet you didn't hear about the other 8 that are happening around the world. Didn't think so. So that is why we created these rankings, to find the truth, to find the understanding of like what's happening. One of them was this morning, all within about a 48-hour to 72-hour period. Kind of interesting, right? 9 separate fires all around the world. Interesting. One out in Wuhan, Brussels, in the World Trade Center. Interesting. North Korea, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. Getting kind of interesting. We use data from Real Clear Politics, and you punch in Joe Biden's website, and then you get to pull up the ranking. So we use the ranking in the United States and then the delta over the last 90 days to see how much they've improved. This is the global scale. So this just gives us an idea of the direction of what they're heading. And if we look at this, we can see that Donald Trump, his website is ranked 1,506th out of all the sites in the United States versus 2,500th. Interesting. Because Alexa is also an Amazon company that ranks sites but also gives data analytics for websites and whatnot. And this tells a different story than this does. Kind of interesting, right? Because this is based on millions of data points. This is based on 964 on the low end and 2,850 on the high end. And we already know that the data is absolute fucking garbage. Like, straight up. Like, if you were running a business and you were making decisions based upon this, you'd go out of business really quick. Really quick. Garbage in, garbage out. So the next one we looked at is the total improvement. We can see that Trump has improved 10,000 spots over the last, since we did this ranking last time. And that has increased, meaning his growth rate has increased, where it has gone the opposite direction for Biden. But again, that doesn't show up in any of their data. The next site that we gathered data from was called a site called, very similar to Alexa, but it's called SimilarWeb. And we see the ranking in the United States for Joe Biden, 2256, right? So this site is interesting because it also gives us a traffic estimate of how many visitors go to that site. So let's take a look at first the ranking in the United States. We have 500 for Trump's site versus 2,256 for Biden's. But again, what is going on here? This is reality. This is where people are actually going to somebody's site to do one of 2 things: get information or purchase something, in this case a donation. So how is it possible that reality is over here, but what is reported is over here? You're an intelligent human being. Think for yourself. And Trump has nearly 25 million estimated visitors on his site over the last 30 days, versus Joe Biden has 5.5 million. So a 5x increase. This is millions of data points. Again, versus 964 data points. Use your head. Think for a moment. What is going on here? The next one we take a look at is called WooRank. Again, a similar site providing research about websites so that people can look up on stuff on their competitors. And on here, we take a look at the ranking in the United States for each candidate and the total number of people who are referring traffic to them. So this would be like somebody who owns a website, and they probably do that for a living, and then they link to Donald Trump's website or they link to Joe Biden's website. This gives us an indicator of how many people are supporting them who are actually influential. We can see over here that Joe Biden's at 2,520 and 65th, right? And we look over here at our ranking for Donald Trump. He's at 1,429th versus 2,500th. Wow, again, a big fucking difference. And then if we take a look at the total number of sites referring in, these are influencers who are linking. Influencers, anybody who has a site, right? If you talk to 6 of your friends and you just talk about what you think, you are an influencer to some degree. These are people who have websites with potentially hundreds of thousands of visitors, if not probably just tens of thousands of visitors every month, that are sending traffic to Donald Trump's website versus Joe Biden's website. 22,000 for Trump's versus 9,000 for Biden's. Again, very interesting, right? Because just on these data points here, this is over 30,000 data points, 31,000 data points here. And that's a substantial amount of data, right? But these polls have less than 3,000. What is going on here? Again, another site that we used is Google. This is the largest search engine in the world, as well as the largest website in the world. And we searched for Trump's website versus Biden website to see whose site's getting searched more, right? Based upon the current data, we could see like, well, duh, no shit, Sam. Trump's website's definitely more popular. Yeah, no shit. And it's about 67% of all of the search volume for these two terms. Meaning that it's over twice as popular in the United States when somebody goes to the Google, the largest search engine in the planet, and they search. So this is just searches in the United States. Google does something like 5.6 billion searches per day. So this is a tremendous amount of data points versus 964. Use your head. Think for yourself. What is going on? And if you appreciate what we're doing in these videos, take a moment and share this with somebody, or jump over to the link down below and get your own shirt, My Governor is an Idiot, with Cuomo on the back. I'll put a link down below. There's a men's and a women's for that. So if you want to support the channel, what we're doing here, share the video, press that thumbs up button. But also, if you want to get your own merch, jump down there, get a shirt, tag me on Instagram. When you do it, I will definitely repost it. I appreciate anybody who is still watching. Thank you so much for your support in this process. We need to all stand up and actually do something about that. This is the first time in history where we've actually had a voice through the internet. Before it was just 3 people, right? ABC, CBS, and NBC. And they dictated the narrative of what was happening in America. And now they're losing their power. Spread the message. Appreciate you guys. Peace.